guys hear me in the Discord? Please let me know. I mean, in the Bookmap. I mean, YouTube. Please let me know. In the YouTube chat, that is. Anybody out there? Thank you, NGO. I'll be back in 1 minute, guys.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrency. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should heavily consider their financial stability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites are digital means for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit losses any limited and whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in most cycles trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers responsible for doctor information. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made of any probable result equal to profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with dependent hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program is called trading losses material points, which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have or overcompensate for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to markets in general and to implementation of any specific trading program which do not fully account for in simulated trading or in preparation of hypothetical performance results involved, of which adversely affect actual trading results.
This trading movement of webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific trade recommendations. Analysis of the share trades, potential trades, and making myself based on my personal analysis. The low frequency trades are identified specific areas trading conditions themselves ultimately make decision trades. Trading is extremely risky if you decide all risk trades, you store your own risk and potentially lose your entire company anymore. And I was profitable when I put 5 on trading accounts. The spreadsheet that acts as a personal spreadsheet that I use at its own value to make carry values on me to impact prices in my trades. You can see my at its own pricing to my spreadsheet as well as prices that trades whether you might go long or short. You can ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter your own values and use mine to firm some prices to rate and draw most revenue. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction trades, it has different prices and top prices will long and short positions depending on which trading person you decide to trade. All right, good morning. All right, so watching, there's a plethora of events here in NASDAQ. I actually just took a couple shorts off of this sell ice event. Where is my jar guy? So this was a little while ago. This was a bullish event, but there was nothing for me to do bullish. It did the retest, of course. And then this came in, and I was working an A+ reversion. We'll go over that. But when I'm working reversions, so this A+ meaning if the entry or more so the exit is through the prior event, I'll take these moves back to the zone, and I did have that on, and then a new event came in, and I got out. So if my room took that, you know, this almost got there, but if I hear a new event, I'm out of the trade. So anyway, position trading wise, so I'm going to be covering different methods of trades as far as position trading where I'm going for bigger moves, reversion trades where I'm playing moves back to the volume events, auto trades, which are like the sexy gexies where I'm getting events at corresponding events at these gex levels. Those are auto entries. We'll go over all this, but I'm hopping from strategy to strategy and I'm trading live, so try to refrain from yelling at me for talking too fast because I'm trying to go over all this. So you'll hear me talk about these position trading strategies where I'm going for bigger moves. These are the auto fade where I jump in the minute I hear an event, right? And then these reversion trades that are moves back to the volume event, kind of just like this one just did. So I'm short off of this guy. We'll go over this. Here's a new event. I actually can trail my stop to that. So my stop I put on Izzy in a pick trade. We'll go over these again. Off of that, my stop was up here. Where I trail my stops is based on something that's happened in the market. So I'm trailing those stops to this event now, and I can possibly trade off of this current event other strategies. So first and foremost, I got to get the stop in 1775 for this trade. These trades, I got two different trades on. those stops are in. The other thing I can do here is short bark and lick off of this event. We'll go over this here in a second. I just got to get these orders in 69.75. Are those orders, and I can put on 5. No strong opinion here. There are some things that are pointing that the markets may move lower today. I'll go over that as far as a thesis. But I trade my volume events whichever way I see them. Put this in real quick. 69.75, and I can put on 5. Bark and lick. Those are working. All right, so what I originally did here was I shorted off of this event. So this was marginal as far as this was one of my important areas. So all I'm doing in my trading are I have my important areas, and then I look for a real-time volume event to occur in those areas and then trade them, right? So the market was kind of down outside this and then into the open and moved back into this inflection zone where this happened, and then there was stuff over here. So that's why this zone is here. So I had to move back into the zone, that sell ice. I took that short. And that's an aggressive entry. In the meantime, I am, of course, short to the tick here, bark and lick. Oh wait, I didn't fill on that. I take that back. No, I did not put on bark and lick off of this. I'm short off of this event, but I trail my stop to this. So we'll go over these trades here in a second once I make sure. All right. So anyway, I took a short off of the sell ice event into this inflection zone. That was the first trade I took. Moved into an important area, volume event, got short. That is an aggressive trade where I got in first move out. And then I also got a short pick. This was questionable, but it was good enough for me because I just can't pass up on shorts because I always want these marks to get killed. The entry was like right back inside here. So the volume event was here. These are market profile composite. These are just value areas of days merged together, which are very powerful. And you can see the market keeps bouncing off it, so it's having a hard time getting in here. The entry was right inside here, so I took it. This was marginal. The best ones are where you get the volume event at the top of it, and then your entry is inside of it. But I took the liberty of being aggressive there, and the reason is a couple things. One, structure. This thing did break down from this balance. Doesn't mean it can't come back up to it, but Russell looks a lot worse too. We'll go over that. But it broke down from that overnight. Of course, they always do the sneak attack, lower move overnight. For some reason, it feels like it can never sell off during the day. And then I was noticing something on Hero here. So this is the real-time options flow, which is very, very important. So you can see this thing moved. This is ES, but so this thing moved from the open from negative 400 million to 1.2 billion. So this thing moved 1.6 billion. So according to Brett from Spot Gamma, if you get a billion or more move, it's significant. So this market moved a billion and ES spun in place. So that's telling me, the options dealers are hedging. But for the market, not in most 85% of the time, the market will move right with the options dealers. 85% of the trade in here are either algos or market makers. They're dealers for options, right? Because they have to hedge with futures. There's no question whether they're hedging. That's actually a new game in town. Load up the options dealers with positions, and then they have to turn around and buy futures. So you can imagine, say you're a bigger player and you buy your max allotment in futures, right? Say you bought 1,000 and the market's not responding. Well, then you go over to the options market and you start buying there, and the dealers have to come and hedge with futures. So it's just another way to manipulate the market. So it's happening more and more lately. Options are a huge part, especially 0 date to expiration. So it behooves you to watch this stuff to understand why the markets are doing what they're doing most of the time. In this case, this did move huge notionally pretty quickly, and market did nothing. That tells me that somebody was absorbing that option, the dealer option flow, and you can see the minute this thing stopped going up, then the market sold off. So I didn't do anything per se off of that. I don't have a particular strategy for that, but it's just something to note thesis-wise. And it sold off, but it hasn't really done anything either way here as far as a directional move, a big directional move. It's only moving 7-9 points at a time. But it's worth noting that happened. Again, it doesn't, nothing's happened, and I have not gotten an event in ES yet. The other thing you want to watch is the Mag 7 Hero. This really did nothing, but it did sell off, and the market actually, this isn't that big notionally. 400 million isn't that crazy. So the point is, we'll look at this throughout the day, but it's something that you want to definitely keep an eye on, and we'll go over some particular strategies we're doing with the GEX levels. Just want to see what this stuff looks like. Again, I'm not an expert at this whatsoever. There's guys in the room that are trading these trades where the markets tend to gravitate towards these are just big options positions, and you can see it there. And you see here, right here, so you can see it here, and you see it here, and the market will gravitate towards one of these, and they act as support and resistance as well. So, if you get a trade on, I have my traditional areas where I get out of, some of my trades or most of my trades with levels and things like that. Say you get long here, you're like, okay, my ultimate target's here. Or I get short, okay, my ultimate target's there for part of it, so on and so forth. So very important to understand this stuff. Again, I'm learning it too. I mean, I've been watching it for a while now, over a year, but it's newer to me. I'm not an options expert by any means, not even close. But the general sense of it is not hard to understand, and it's very important to be watching. So we'll keep an eye on that today. All right. So anyway, I'm short Bark and Lick. I'm sorry, Izzy and Pick. I would put on I'll still put on a Bark and Lick here. They're still working, right? So these are different strategies I'm talking about. I got short that aggressively, Izzy and Pick. Now you got a new event. My stop for that was up there. I moved my stop to there. Now here's a new event. We got your ATR. Here's your retest that happens, feels like 99% of the time. And if it comes back, I will fill on Bark and Lick. So Bark and Lick, Bark is just a blind ATR retest confirmed. What does blind mean? It means it could happen anywhere. So we just talked about, I put on Izzy and Pick. Those are my important areas that I look for volume events. Well, the edge is inherent in these volume events, so I want to still be able to trade them even if they're not an important area, and that's what a Bark and Lick is. Bark and Lick are the same trade. So the difference is the Lick trade, I'm just holding the trade till it gets to heavy risk and liquidity. So here you go. Bark, blind, ATR, retest confirmed. Take any trade with SI volume event that has an ATR, retest confirmed. The algo guy must be trending in the same direction to take the trade. So algo guy is just an exponential moving average ribbon. You can get that link. I can post it again if you guys need it on YouTube. Let me know. But you can see it is bearish right now. So the blue is the shorter term moving average. These are just different period moving averages. Again, just Google exponential moving average. You can learn all about it. The red are the longer term. When the blue is below the red, it signals more of a bearish environment, right? So if I get a Bark and Lick, I will only take it if this is in that direction. This is obviously bearish right now. So if we get the ATR retest confirmed of that volume event, I'm taking those shorts. As far as thesis, we already went over the hero stuff. This is another two different things here happen that are telling me this may move lower. Again, thesis is just a guess. I don't know what's going to happen next. Nobody does. I do know how to trade my volume events and the rules around them. But the point is, if I get volume events in the direction of my thesis, then I trade bigger. So the thesis here that you can come up with algo guy is it's tried. It did pull the blue above the red there, and the market couldn't go. Then it pulled it back below again. That's telling you something. Just try it again. It's telling you something. So thesis-wise, that looks like we might have a decent move lower. That matches with the breakdown of this balance up here. So my thesis is lower. That's just a guess. I trade these volume events, which are the king of everything because it's stuff that's happening right now. My guess means pretty much nothing. I'm right more often than I'm wrong just because I understand how to look at structure and it's just common sense, the way markets move and how they react to balance areas, so on, so far and so forth. But I will trade. So even if I'm bearish, say we move down here and I get a bullish event and it's an important area, I'll take a long, right? The point is I trade in the direction of my thesis bigger size. So I can take these Bark and Licks bigger size here if I elect to, just because the thesis is pointing here. So I did have this working, the Bark and Lick. I'm going to up the size based on, we've got the algo guy thesis, we've got the hero thesis, and then also you'll have the market profile thesis. So this thing's trying to bounce out of this guy, right? We got another event here. If it gets back in there, the market profile thesis is a short too. So I will put those on. I'm going to trade those double size. 69.75 again is the entry for Bark and Lick, and I'm already short pick in Izzy. Let me up this size here. All right, so those are working. So now you hear this new event coming in here. Got more bias. So somebody's, big money is in here buying today. They're buying and selling, but this is 500 icebergs, right? Still coming in. So this is kind of a battle of the ice right now, right? In pre-market, you had a sell ice event right at the GEX level. I actually took a 60 GEXy here and I got out right into the open. We'll go over those trades. Then you had buy ice. Then you had sell ice. Then you had buy ice. Who's going to win? Don't know. Don't care. I mean, I care if I'm short. Obviously, I want the shorts to win. But the point is, I wait for the movement off of these events to determine. And there was more buy ice here. So I always default to the most recent event too. So as long as this guy doesn't prove to be a bullish event, I can still go short off of that guy, and then I could potentially do the same thing with this guy. So you can see on a trending day, there's where you can have multiple positions on based on the newest event coming in, right? So Barks and Licks are working. If I do get filled on off of this, I can at least trail my stop to that. So my original stop, if I get filled, I'm still not filled on these, right? ATR retest confirm. It has not confirmed yet. If I get filled, my stop was here. Now you get a new event. Stops moved a little bit to there. Right. Well, I would probably on this one I'd move it out of here anyway, so it'd probably be close because I don't want to stop on prior events. We'll go over that. It's just common sense again. Traders in this area, whoever was buying here, is holding their breath and like, oh crap, what's going on? Please come back so I can get out of my trade. So that's what happens. So that's why if I'm going to stop out, I move it outside the zone. All right. So those are working. I have not been filled on Bark and Lick yet. I just got Izzy and pick on. If it pops up here, I am out of those shorts and I move on to the next trade. As far as other markets, this one looks the worst as far as structure. So here's the good example. So now my Bark and Lick are canceled that I was working because this event is now a bullish event. Right? There's the event. Just tag the ATR. The ATR is the blue line. This is the zone drawing tool. I'll put this in the document in where you can get access to all the stuff I'm using. So this is a developer, my trader in Yuan, brilliant dude, came up with a way to draw this iceberg activity on the chart, and it also tells you where you get in, where you get out, your position sizing, correct position sizing based on what you want to risk per trade. So everything is here for you. The biggest thing, and I've been showing this nonstop, posted it in Twitter I reposted it in Twitter the other day. Start out with a quick rant here. Since nothing's going on and just waiting for something to happen. Of course, I can't find the damn thing. Well, here, let's look at it on Twitter. It's easier. So this is the most important thing in trading that you could look at, right? Why most traders never succeed. This is like the segue to the drawing tool. Most traders never succeed because they trade without a quantified system with an edge. That's what I'm showing you right now. These volume events, the stop iceberg volume events with the CME MBO enhanced data is the best edge I have ever seen in my 25 years of trading. Bar none, runaway, right? And I've watched a lot of market action in my life. So that's the first thing. So I'm giving you the edge. Next thing, they trade too big. That's another thing with the zone drawing tools. So when you get that or the spreadsheet and get the spreadsheet as part of my room, but the spreadsheet, this trading spreadsheet is the zone drawing tool. It's just much easier than coming in here and have to enter in all these values. Now we have it as a zone drawing tool. If you don't want to get the zone drawing tool, you can do this stuff by hand, draw them by hand. You saw me do it for 7 years. Come in here, you enter your zone price, your ATR, what's your account size in, what you're willing to mass risk per trade, and then it tells you your exact contract size based on the volatility. And this day there was a 50 ATR. That's why I could only trade 2 MNQ contracts, right? Today's different. This is not the current zone. I'm just showing you the spreadsheet. So anyway, the risk, having a system and your risk are the two biggest things, right? So I'm showing you the best edge in the history of the planet, in my opinion, right? And then you have your sizing. So you trade the correct size. You should only be risking for trading your real money accounts that you're living on 2.5%. I'm sorry, 1.5 to 2% max per trade, right? All right, hold on, I gotta cancel these barks and licks because this guy was bullish. So those trades are canceled. Before I forget, and then I find out I have an order and forgot to take it out. So bark and lick is canceled. I am still short the Izzy. So this is a perfect example why I put my stops where I do, right? So I was still short. I'm still short Izzy and pick, right? Well, trail my stop to that guy. Then that guy, I should have trailed my stop here. It actually didn't tag it, but this is why I don't try my best not to put my stops in the middle of prior events, because it tags those events and then runs away because the traders that are screwed here say, please let me out, and that causes the next wave lower. So my stop for those trades are up here at that original stop up there, the second stop. So anyway, that's a great example of why I put my stops through the events when I can. Some days you have event, and you're looking at, oh, if I move this, I got to move it 100 points. Well, then you just got to bite the bullet and stop out in the middle of the zone. In this case, I didn't have to do that. I put it there, and I'm fine with that. So back to the rant. Well, this market just sits here and algos everybody. And then trade based on their emotions, ego, and predictions, not price action. So I don't trade on predictions. I'm giving you my prediction as far as thesis. And again, it's a guess. I don't trade off of that. I'll trade bigger if my system agrees with my guess. That's all, right? So I don't, and this is the trader's biggest mistake. They think something's going to happen, so they don't put on trades. We get it all the time. We got into my trade room last week with the, he's already gotten a verbal lashing for it, but he's like, I'm asking him, hey, did you take that short? No, I didn't take the short because the market was ripping. Well, what in the hell does that mean? Yeah, it was ripping. How do you know when it's not going to stop? You don't, right? So the best way to stop yourself from doing things like that is if you think something's going to happen, right? So say you get a short set up right here, and you're like, I don't want to short, man. This markets have been strong. There's bias. I'm not going to short it because you think something's going to happen. Well, then you should be willing to trade the other way your entire life savings, right? Because you obviously know what's going to happen, right? No, you don't. So the point is, stick with your system. Don't trade on what you think is going to happen. Now we just got something in YM. It's just unbelievable. So we got an event in YM here, sell stops. So I don't have, we haven't gone over the sexy Gexies yet, the Menther Q levels. I'm doing a webinar with Menther Q tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central. I'll post that link in here in a little bit and on Twitter. Right, I'm not doing the natural gas numbers coming out. I'm not doing anything with that right now. So let's just look and see if these are any GEX levels in. So this is a GEX level, so I could take a sexy GEX here, and I'm actually trading these on Bookmap right now, so let me hurry up, put this over here. Let's try this here.
Order filled.
Alright, so I got this trade copier working too, so it's trading. I'll show you guys this here in a second. I just set it up last night, so it looks like it's working. Anyway, this is a sexy GEXy. You got a sell stop run. Let me put the stop in here first before it runs away from me and I can't get out. Sell stop 4. All right. So I'm trading bigger here on the, because these are the eval accounts on the, I don't have a link to a live one right here, so I'm able to trade through Bookmap and it transfers over to these the Apex accounts. We'll go over that here, but so this is a sexy GEXy. We had a sell stop run. These are auto entries. So I've been talking about all day, waiting for the move out. You get in the ATR, after the ATR, so on and so forth. These trades, there's only 2 of them. 2 strategies where I'll get in the minute I hear an event. So these are the newest trades. I'm going to go over these at length tomorrow on the Menther Q webinar. I'll post that stuff here in a second. So the market moved. So I got to look at these through. They're not working on the Bookmap levels. Aren't the Menther Q levels are not working on YM for me for some reason. So my market moved up, came back here, sell stop into this GEX level. So YM doesn't have its own options. This is based off the diamonds, the ETFs, but they're still very, very accurate. You can see this thing bounced off this one about 15 times yesterday. Anyway, it came back. This is an auto entry trade. The way I'm trading these right now, it's a brand new trade, but it's worthy of trading, even though I don't have it down. I haven't seen enough of them yet. So what I'm looking for here, we just saw that GEX level, right? So I want to see a dealer reaction. I'll get out a half off of that. And then it's a volume event. My traditional volume events, position trading, you're looking for bigger moves. So I'm going to get out a half if this pops back up to here, right in front of the ATR. That's the blue line. And then I'm going to try to hold half for a bigger move. So that is 456. I'm getting out a half of those, so I put 4 on. Don't like it. You have to sit here and move this up and down. All right, so that's where I'll get out a half. Looking for a dealer reaction off of this GEX level. Then and so there's guys even in the room, which I don't, because I need a volume event. But there's guys that are trading these levels blindly or naked, right? So it's like the minute they hit the level, they're taking them. I need a volume event for anything that I'm doing, because I don't know if I mentioned, it's the most powerful thing I've ever seen in my life. So that's why I demand that. So I got a sexy Gexy working there. And then there's other trades we can take, position trading, so on and so forth, off here potentially too. So let's see if we are in an inflection zone, and we'll get a thesis here too, what it looks like. So this market looks very bullish, right? Russell looks terrible. This one looks, we didn't even get into Russell because I got sidetracked. I'll get into it here in a second. This is breaking out of balance, right? That's bullish. Kind of pull back a little bit. This is an IZZY, but it's kind of been sitting in this zone. So I could take an IZZY long or short, but I need to see ATR retest confirm. That is a different variation. This is variation number 2 for IZZY. So IZZY, you saw the IZZY short I put on. All right, I just stopped out of those trades from this morning, but I was able to trail my stop. All right, so I was short off of this guy, so they weren't like brutal losses because my original stop was way up here. So based on that guy, I have everything. Now we have an event. So this is a perfect example of how I wait. So we talked about the thesis, so on and so forth, and market looked like it was going to get smoked. Did I do anything besides this short? Did I put on bark and lick? No, because I never got my pattern, my rules to take the short, and I avoided getting smoked on those trades, right? Then this event actually turned bullish. I should maybe be long bark and lick here. I should be long bark and lick here because Algo Guy did pull. Let's see, what time did that pull? 8:29. So I missed this because I was showing other stuff. So I should be long this right now. Hold on, see if we can get a pull back here. I'm just going to throw these on. Hold on, come on. Oh, that's the wrong market. All right, so that's pretty close to where the entry is supposed to be. That's the yellow line. So I'm long now, bark and lick, right? And again, I just got done saying that it looks bearish, right? This is my point. I'm a day trader. If it shows me a long setup, I'm going long. If it shows me a short setup, I would have traded bigger on the short side because of my thesis. So now what do we have here? We got a couple of things brewing here. Different strategies. One, first and foremost, I did take these longs because of the pattern. ATR, blue line, retest, confirm, yellow line. I'm getting in just outside of an ATR. My stop was down here. New event. Now my stop's here, right? So that's another reason I jumped in these, because now I have a very little risk on this trade, even if it comes back at me. Now you got to make a decision. Do you want to take the traditional stop, which is basically going to be into these events? I'm going to move it outside of here so I don't get stopped out with a rebound off of these events. And then we actually have a trade based on that rebound that I'll show you too. So I'm going to stop should be here. 94. I'm going to move it. I'm willing to risk another 15 points and put it below this volume event. Put it at 80 quarter. Put those in. And this market's a whipsaw nonsense, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's fine. I'm still trading it, but it's just, it's not going anywhere. There's volume event after volume event, and the market's just spinning in place. All right. So I have bark and lick on off of this event. What could I also do off of this event? Same thing. If it tags ATR retest confirm, I'll add to that. There's potential position trades we can put off of this too. I'll look here in a second. The other trade that I can work here is a reversion trade, and this is an A+. This is the trade that I have working with the trading firm. I actually met with the owner yesterday for about 5 hours. He flew out here from Chicago to meet with me, and we went over all these strategies and everything. So this one's actually trading live. So this trade would be, so you have event. This is called the A plus reversion trade, right? So we already know the propensity for these markets to snap back to the volume events just on their own. That's why we have, this is the zone drawer. That's why you have the 1 ATR entry, the 2 ATR entry, that's this dotted line. They're even better when you can support it or defend that with a volume event, because again, when these trade wherever short in this area, when it comes back, they want the hell out, and then you get the wave back too. So that helps propel it back. It already comes back to the zones ridiculously often as it is. Then you got that stuff working for you too. So I will take that. So as long as the stop, the entry can be before the event, as long as the stop is below it. So you can see the stop is well below it. That's this dash dotted red line. See, so it says reversion 1 stop loss. Here's my entry. So if this did come down here, I could put an A plus reversion on. Did I just, hold on, what happened with that YN? Did I get out of some of that? And if not, why not? It still hasn't gotten up there. Come on now. All right, this was that sexy Gexy, so that's still working. Come on, I'm looking for a 90% of an ATR out of here. Let's go, YN. You're better than that. Wag the tail when you walk. All right, so if this does come back here, I will put on the A plus reversion long as well. That entry is 21,898. So here's your sizing for the reversion trade. It's the same thing in the spreadsheet, right? That's what the spreadsheet is. The top part of this, if I can find it, right here. Top part of it is, again, this isn't a current zone in here, but this is for the position trades. This is for the reversion trades. This is for the position trade sizing. These are for the reversion trade sizing. So I could put on one. I'm betting bigger, not betting, trading bigger on these eval accounts. So I'll put on 4 if this comes here, and there's my entry. And I have the trade copier. We'll go over that, and that'll send it over to my Trade-O-Mate accounts that I've set up to this. So that goes there. So one thing you want to be aware of, I don't like taking, so say this goes up here and qualifies as a long for this, right? I don't like taking the reversions when it comes back, because something's up. If this thing tags an ATR and comes all the way back, I don't want to be standing in front of that action. So the rules are, you shouldn't, as long as this doesn't tag the ATR this way, you can still take that trade. If it tags that ATR, be very careful taking these reversion, because something's up if this tags an ATR and comes all the way back, right? So just, the trade is meant to be event, neither one of them disqualifies the other way, and then you can take it. So just be aware of that. We'll go over that if that happens. But anyway, I am long bark and lick. Seriously, how am I not getting filled on this YM? Pathetic. I mean, the ATR is not even that wide. Alright, well, there's no way I'll get filled if I watch it, so I will take that off the screen. In the meantime, new event. What strategies do we have here? I know it's an Izzy zone, but this has now been sitting in this zone for an hour and a half. So I could take an Izzy either way. Again, I need to see ATR retest confirmed. That's variation number 2 on the Izzies, because it's been sitting in here, right? So I was trying to go over this earlier. Variation number 2. This also applies to a situation where the market's accepting in the zone, where I demand ATR retest confirmed. So that's a potential trade. It hasn't moved an ATR out of here either way. Let's see what we got. Market profile or lugs. Those are other areas that I look for. So nothing market profile. It's in between these two guys. There's nothing lugs. I don't trade at the yellow lug as far as initiating trades. I'll get out of some at the yellow lug, but so nothing on lugs. So the only thing I got potentially working here is an Izzy, long or short, depending on how it reacts out of here, and then I could add to my bark and lick longs here if that happens. I still need to see the ATR, which is 91.44, the retest confirm, and then I get in there.
Order filled.
Hey, so soon? Alright, so filled on half of that YM. Sexy Gexy, right? So this, I'm going to screenshot this for the webinar tomorrow. These trades are awesome risk reward trades, right? Because my traditional entry, so say I wanted to go long here, I wouldn't even be long yet. I'd wait for that. This one, you jump in right in the middle of the zone, and you use your traditional stop. So I got out of half of those because I was looking for the dealer reaction, which we got. So I'm going to make this 2. How do I do that? Can't remember how to do that. I haven't used it. Here we go. There we go. That's 2 now. Now I'm going to let this ride. It still hasn't confirmed bullish, so it didn't touch the ATR, or did it? No, it still hasn't actually. This is, guys. This is why I get out in front of the ATR, because these algos love to snap the thing back in front of the ATR. That's why I get out of some in front of the ATR. So, and or take the reversion trade at that point. So anyway, I got out of half. I'm letting half ride because it is a volume event, and you can expect bigger moves off of volume events. That's the whole idea. It's an area of trap traders that we're taking advantage of. So half of that worked. I'm still long bark and lick here. So now I am validated long. So what do we have here as far as what can I do position trading wise? I'm already long sexy gexy. It just validated as a long. Is algo guy bullish? Yes, and actually this is a red rum too. So I should be long this right now. I could put on 12. Hold on here. I'll go over that here in a second too. Wrong account as usual. Alright, so what's red rum? So red rum, remember what I talked about, looking for volume events in important areas. Well, this is the red algo guy ribbon. Of course, I already lost it. Here it is. Right, so this is an important area. These markets bounce out. You can see it's already bounced off this thing twice today. Right before the open, market came back to the red ribbon, exponential moving average, longer term, bounced. Bounced again. This time I got an event in an important area. I take that trade and I take it aggressively, meaning I'm not waiting for a retest of the zone, right? So it still hasn't retested. So this is how you can get in trades like the bark and lick. I demand a retest. Well, sometimes it doesn't retest and it just runs off the page. Well, this one I got the red rum on, so if it does run off the page, at least I have some long on. And then I also have position trades working here where I can go ATR retest confirm, and you can see this liquidity up here, by the way. That's what I just put on in NASDAQ. So if that happens, I'll put that on. All right, now you got, let's see if this is a GEX level, by the way. So remember, I still long, this is the sexy Gexy I'm long too. Hold on here. Not quite at there's nothing to do sexy Gexy on this stop event. But real surprising that this liquidity got filled. So this is the game. I was explaining to the guy yesterday, to the head of the trading firm yesterday. I'm like, about liquidity and how this is the game I used to play. I used to load up the order book, and then with like 1,000 lots. This was ES, and then I would start buying down here, and then I would play games, and then I'd beef up the order book. This back then, spoofing was completely legal, and I did it nonstop. So I'd beef up the order book, make people think there's a bunch of bids. Then I would start buying. Then I would buy a flurry of buying when it got close to my offers. And people would jump on my coattails thinking there's big money jumping in. They would jump on my coattails. I would get filled. I'd yank my bids. I'm out of the trade and left everyone else holding the bag, right? So I was hated on the street. I was hated in my own firm because I would play these games all day long in ES. Now it's kind of turned on me. I don't like it so much. I don't like tasting my own medicine. But that's how I made the millions of dollars. It was just that game all day, every day. So that's how I have all the volume experience, because I used to play the game and I know they're still playing the game. So the longer this stuff's been in here, the more they want to get filled. Think about it. If something comes out, say Russia has a peace treaty with Ukraine, this market's going to rip off of the page, right? Well, they don't care. That means they want to get filled, and when they want to get filled, they're usually going to get filled. When I say they, I'm talking about the bigger money. And why will they get filled? Because they have the power to push the market into their orders. So they're playing the same type of game I played. You're never going to know exactly what they're doing. You don't need to know. You need to know liquidity as a magnet, especially the heavier and longer it's been in there. You can use it as targets. That's what the lick trade is. So if I would have gotten this lick trade on, ATR retest confirm, I'd be seriously looking at it, getting on most of it right there, even though that wasn't a great risk return, because that's the biggest liquidity on the board, right? So that's what the lick trade is. So now back to my other trades. I got red rum on, and I still have half of this sexy Gexy. So now I can trail my stop to that puppy. This one I'm not going to move all the way down here. If it comes back. I'll pretty much scratch my red rum, and I'll make a little bit on the sexy Gexy. So my stop for this long is 452. Put that in. You got a lot of nat gas right now. It's because the number just came out. I'm not going to get over that right now. Plus I'm out of breath. 452 is my stop. That's for red rum, and then I will trail this puppy now up to that. 452. There you go. So then I still have Barks and Licks on in Mr. NASDAQ here. I will watch this gamma level. If it gets up there, if it can't push through, I'm going to get out of a couple of these guys because it's from this trade. From this guy down here, Bark and Lick. And this is liquidity up here too. So, you know, if it can't push through, I'd probably get out of that full liquidity trade right there. Sometimes you can judge, like if there's multiple above, then you can say, okay, I'll get out of some here. I'll get out of some, let's see. Yeah, I mean, there's still some up here. That's decent. That's decent. So this is the most right here, right? So the lick trade, I will, if it can't push through, well, here we are right now. If this can't push this HVL, I'm going to get out of those. And I can't, well, not yet. I was going to say the A plus reversion trade's off the table if it tags the ATR this way. Again, guys, you may not even understand what the hell I'm talking about. And trust me, it slows down. That's why I have the trade room. I show this stuff every day. I have my course so you can learn how to trade these events, and then you come in my trade room, you know what you're doing, and then it slows down. But if you're trying to listen to all these strategies and you've never been on these webinars, your head's probably spinning. All right, if this can't push through right here, I'm going to get out a couple of these. Not the lick. The lick I hold to the liquidity, but I'll get out of some of the bark. I got 7 on. I'll get out of 2 of them. If this. All right, see how it's struggling here? Why? Well, because these dealers are hedging here, right? Again, dealers aren't the only game in town, but when nothing's going on, they affect the market because they have to hedge futures. That's why it's very important to know these levels, spot gamma and Menther Q. So I got a 2 there. I still got 5 out of the bark on. I've got out of none of my lick. I will seriously consider getting out of all my lick here if it can't push through this guy, right? In the meantime, I can still put on barks and licks off of this guy. Once this confirms, it still hasn't confirmed. Confirm, retest, go. All right, you can hear that little chime music. That's the trading firm fight. So I can't see it. My computer's closed, but it's trading very actively. So there's a lot of A plus reversion trades somewhere today. All right, I did nothing off this crude event. Of course, let's see what I missed. That's not crude. That was pretty close. I could have put an Izzy on. I mean, it was, remember, these are zones, they're not exact prices, but you had this stop run was into that Izzy zone. So I missed this trade. Should have been short that, right? Now you got a new event here. So this is potentially, I don't see any GEX levels here. It's in between these 2 GEX levels, so no sexy GEXy. What did I do with the, here it is. Is this an Izzy? So this is potentially Izzy here too, right? Volume event in my important area. You can see this has been multiple things. So this thing's smack dab in the middle of this balance. When you're smack dab in the middle of it, that's where you get the most chop. It's like the point of control in market profile. It's the same concept, right? Meaning is this is why it's like a chop fest. But this is the top of my Izzy zone because what I drew here was the bottom of this balance. So I draw these zones based on the 4 important areas of charting. Tops and bottoms of balance areas, which both these zones are at. High volume nodes of balance areas. I don't usually draw those 2 because there'd just be too many zones. You can eyeball those. I mean, the top of this zone is at the high volume node there. And then directional conviction and buying and selling tails. Buying tail. Let's see. There was a zone here. This was a selling tail, right? Tails are very, very important. They give you a really good read on what's going on as far as thesis 2. So anyway, that's an Izzy. If this, that's one thing. Let's see. Do we have a red rum here? Have a red rum. I mean, this thing's kind of smushed, but there's a volume event into the red rum. This is what I just took in Russell. I mean in YM. So we got a potential Izzy long, red run long, but I do not get in these until it can show its hand and push an ATR plus out of the zone. So that's where I would enter that. I may just move it outside of this prior event too. I'm willing to risk another 15 ticks so I don't get juked into that prior event. That's where it gets subjective. You got to decide. Okay, hey, no, I don't want to risk 15 extra ticks. I'm going to get in an 82 instead of moving it to 97. Right? I just have seen it. There's nothing worse than watching these things getting filled and watching them tag these and coming back. Right? So if I'm going to get in here, I'm moving it out of that zone. That's where you get into the subjectiveness. You may say, I don't care. I'm very long crude. I'm very bullish crude. I'm getting in right there. It's fine. Just know it's probably going to have trouble getting through here originally. Why? Because this is where traders are trapped. This is why this lights up, why it draws the zone, because there was activity here. There's buy stops. Someone's on the other side of it, right? So buy stops aren't always pukes. Could be guys getting long. So somebody's long up here and not feeling real hot right now. When it comes back, that's when they went out, and that's why it reacts at these events. All right, what else do we got? And then if you guys got questions, throw them in. I've covered a lot so far. It feels like I've literally not stopped talking as usual. This is a pick too, right? So important area, another one of my important areas. Bottom of the market profile composite. I don't love picks when it's just sitting in here. This is that balance area. It's just a different look at what that balance area is. This is a couple days of balance. I'll still take it, but I don't like it. I like the picks like where it moves out, comes back, you get your value event, does that, moves out, comes back, get your value event. Or if you're like down here and it rips into it, those are the picks I like. These ones are hard. They're not as strong because the thing's just been sitting in here. It's just like trading the bottom of a balance area, right? It's like, it just feels like the time I always take them is the time it finally breaks out of it. Again, that's just in my head and being a complaining trader. But anyway, I'll take a pick long, Izzy long, red rum long, and I will go long. I'll put it above the zone. I can trade 14. You may want to cut your size down a little bit because you're risking another 15 ticks. But I would trade those three strategies long. If it moves out of here, I don't. So those are my long areas. What if it moves this way? Well, there's not really, it's into an Izzy zone, so there's no Izzy. But this may be pulling algo guy, and then if that happens, then I would potentially take Barks and Licks to the short side. And I could still potentially take Barks and Licks to the long side, depending how this moves out of here. I'm not doing anything yet. This is why I demand the move out, right? All right, so if that comes back, I'm going to go long Izzy, pick, and red rum crude. Put it at put that entry at 96, 75.96. What is the number? Kansas City Fed Manufacturing. Never even heard of that number. I guess I haven't been trading long enough. 95. I gotta get these in. Pick. Rum. I don't know what this trading firm's going wild today. I don't know what it's trading off of. And what did I say? Pick, Izzy, and red rum. Alright, those are all working. If that comes back. If this turns out to be a bearish event, then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Still long bark and lick here. We have a back in black trade too, just to throw some more strategies at you to confuse you even more. This didn't quite get there, but the trade, that's this trade. So again, guys, when you come to my room or you're watching this, it's not to take every single one of these trades. That's not what this is. It's to take, these are my trades in my head over 25 years. Pick one or two position trading strategies. Pick one auto fade strategy. Pick one reversion and get really good at those, and then you can start adding. I say it every day, all day, but I can't tell you how many people are like, it's like drinking from a fire hose. I can't keep up with all your strategies. You're not supposed to. You can listen, but if you're going to be trading, just pick a couple of them till you know what the hell you're doing. I gotta take a breath. See if you guys got questions here. 10 out of 10. What does that mean? Bill scalp. All right, no other questions. Let's just see where we're at here too. And by the way, ES has been. This is a perfect example of watching other markets. I've been saying this in my room the last couple of days. Like, this was from, I left this running all night on accident, so this is from yesterday or last night, this event. There has been, last 2 days, there's been like, 2 days ago, there was no events until the last 10 minutes of the day. Yesterday, there was no events till the last 10 minutes of the day. So it's like, this is an example. Like if you're just staring at ES, because I know so many of you guys just love staring at this crappy market. I almost swore there. Like, broaden your horizons. You're costing yourself opportunity because the volume of events, I don't care what market you're talking about. I don't care if it's natural gas. I don't care if it's wheat, soybeans, copper, silver, gold. It doesn't matter. We're looking for volume events. Volume is volume. Volume are traders placing bets. We're looking for the move out of those areas to take advantage of it. Well, look at this. I can't believe that was a reversion trade back to the zone. I've never seen that except for 500 times a day. So the point is, stop staring at this crappy market unless you're just like being put to sleep. And the problem is, even if you were put to sleep, most people are like, oh, I got to do something, man. I got my rent coming up next week. I got to put on some trade to support myself. And then you end up, getting smoked in a crappy market on a bad day when you could be hearing events go off in these other markets and trading other markets. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're not doing that. Speaking of which, let me put this in the YouTube. This is everything I'm using. We'll go over this as usual. Treely, any thoughts on ESNQ today? I've been giving you my thoughts all day, Treely. My thoughts on a thesis are just guesses, right? And so again, for the millionth time, I already gave you my thesis of I thought it looked short, but guess what? I'm long, right? Why? Well, because the short, it was just a guess based on structure and the way the markets were behaving with the euro. These volume events told me to go long, so I'm long, right? This is a perfect example of it doesn't feel good because I think something's going to happen. Did you see me not put on my longs here? I put on longs, and I'm still long, right? What is going on here? So my thesis, Nasdaq's already moved out of that balance. This is pretty important what happens here in the ES, even though we can't get a damn event. And I don't trade without events. You want to trade without events? Go ahead. You're just asking to be algo to death. Balance. I mean, you can even make that. It's all fractal, but balance is just two-sided trade. That's that. Watch for this. This is the best trade in trading. Failed balance breakdown. If it gets through that high volume node, I put the line in the sand at 6130. You can take a failed balance breakout. We have a strategy for that. So that's that. Other than that, algo guy did try to pull lower. It's back to being. It's pulling right now. We have a trade for that too, but you need to see heavy relative volume, and you're not getting. Look how pathetic. This is another way to judge if the markets are range bound. Algo City. Look at this relative volume. That means there's papers not in here today. The big money is not in here, right? So when you get this relative volume, so this is the Sierra chart relative volume, not the Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim's just looking back 60 bars. I don't care about 60 bars. I care about, hey, what does this volume look like at this exact 5-minute time period for the last 30 days? Is this a lot or is this not? You can see this is barely like 75%. And here they're just pushing this thing because nobody's in here to stop them. And this is very likely. So when you see the relative volume like this, that it's back to the 85-90% of the trade, which are algos and options dealers flow, right? So I will bet you Hero is moving higher. That's driving this market up, right? If I can find it. Where are you at, Hero? Max 7 Hero did move up, but it's kind of just sitting there. Let's see this one. Hey, what do you know? How did I know that? How did I know this move was due to the Hero? So guys, there's certain. This is not the only game in town, but certain days the options dealers are low. If we can see this, other houses or other traders can see this. There's nothing going on. Hey, let's load up the dealers with options, and they have to hedge with futures. There you go. That's exactly why. Almost 100%, but this is why this market's doing what it's doing right now. Right? I mean, just look at the movement compared to the Hero today. Actually, that's not a good chart. Let's use the 5-minute chart. What does that mean? It doesn't mean much. I do have a trade that I'm working on for the Hero when you get the flow alert, but you can see the market is basically just responding with the Hero, right? And this was a flow alert, by the way. That usually means the market's going to turn around. It's not turning around. Anyway, this is the Hero. Boom, 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 boom. So today, and you can judge by relative volume, because you see relative volume low. There's no big money in here. Hero and algos are going to run the show. What does that mean? It means heroes and algos are going to run the shows. If heroes not doing anything, then the algos start whipsawing everybody to death. Those are great for reversion trades, so on and so forth. So that's what I'm seeing there. You know, again, this thing has moved notionally. I was saying it was spinning in place, so I thought I would see a sell-off, but then it sold off and it was still spinning in place. Again, just for thesis guess-wise what was going to happen, and then it turned around, and now the market's responding here. So it just went from minus 500 billion to almost 2.5 billion. This is a $3 billion notional move. That's a lot. So, and that's why the market's doing what it's doing, right? Very likely. They're just one player, but they're running the show right now. All right, and that's fine by me because I'm long, right? I was just all ready to be short, double size, blah, blah, blah. And I'm long. Why? Because this is the king. What's going on right now is the king. I don't give a crap about my areas or thesis, or a Bollinger Band or whatever. I care. The biggest thing is this. So that showed bullish. I am long off of that. I'm long YM. This thing just proved bullish. Remember, I already got out of some here, so there's nothing really more to get out. That did come close to this liquidity, though. Remember, this liquidity, too, you don't have to wait for an exact tag because the algos pick up the size in the order book and they run it away from them, trying to make these guys chase. That's why big money uses icebergs, so they can hide their damn orders. Because if they put it in the order book, they run it away, just like they picked up here. They came here, they felt that liquidity, let's run it away and make them chase. They're not chasing anything. It's been in there this whole time. But that's my point is, if you're trading the liquidity, so I should have been watching this, this was pretty much close enough. Because he had this band here too. So if it comes back up here, you got a band up here too. So guys, this is very likely meaning about 100% that this is going to fill. So if this comes up here and can't get through, I'm going to get out of my lick trade. Full of it, all of it, right? And I'm still long bark. And I can put on those again if this guy had already proved bullish right now. Retest, confirm. I'll add to those. So I'm going to watch this closely for this lick trade because I might be out of that original lick trade. I could put it right back on for this. There's just, the thing is, there's not a ton of liquidity. Yeah, there's some more up here. There's some up here. So I'll put it on again. Hopefully we can get up there and get out of this thing. What's going on with YM? Remember, I still have Red Rum and Sexy Gexy. What did I miss here? Let's see, I could have been out of some of those. So this is where I make mistakes on the webinars because I'm showing other markets and I miss areas to get out of some, so on and so forth. There was nothing really here. So for me, my important area is this. There's just really nothing for me to get out. There was nothing Ludwig wise. I mean, you could get out at the baby lug, but the main Ludwig levels are what I'm looking at. There was nothing market profile unless I failed to draw one here. Let's see. So meaning I'm in this thing, so my main targets are the major lugs and or an opposing volume event. And GEX levels too. That actually, I forgot this is not on here, so this is, yeah, there you go, right here. So I'm going to get out of 2 of these YM. I'm going to get out of 1 more of these Sexy Gexies that we had on from the middle of that zone. Because this is a GEX level, right? It's kind of struggling at it. So I'm going to get out of 1 of these.
Order filled.
Remember, I got the trade copy right out. I'll try to go over that today too. I just got it set up last night. Then we got Red Rum on here on my other Apex here. So I had 15 of those on. I'm going to put on 5. I get out of 5 of those here. All right, so I'm out of 5 of those because that was one of my important areas. It wasn't market profile or lug, but it was a GEX level, and GEX levels are important. We already got long off a GEX level down right here. This is a GEX level here. It's kind of just spinning around, so I got out of a couple, right? That's how I get out of my trades. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me, right? Straight out of what? Trading in the zone. Here comes the rant. Here comes the rant. Pay myself as the market makes money available to me. What are my areas, my important areas? Ludwig levels, market profile composites. If I just got to saying we weren't at either one of those, so there's nothing for me to get out. But what we were at, you are at a VWAP standard extreme standard deviation. I don't usually get out of those by themselves. I need them confluent with something else. But this was, I'm at their Q level, so I got out of some, right? Not all of them. I only get out of all my trade. This is where I let the R kind of work. So I will hold this now The rest of these, unless there say there was another method Q level, I might get out of. I'll still piece out of some, but the core position I'll always leave something on so we get to the major lug and or an opposing volume event that turns bearish. That's how I trail my stops. I don't trail my stops to break even because I don't want to give back my profit. I trail my stops based on something that's happening in the market. That is the number one failure of retail traders, is the trailing the stop based on staring at your P&L. The market doesn't care what your P&L says. The market cares about things happening in the market. All right, so there's surprise, surprise. I don't know if you guys have seen this routine here where it tags the 1 ATR and then back to the zone. I didn't take this reversion, so we have this trade. And the best ones are when it bounces off something important and comes back. It was through this GEX level, so I didn't take that. Then the entry was above it anyway, so I didn't take it. It still worked. You know, get guys taking this aggressively. Actually, the trading firms are taking all these aggressively too, so we get stats on them without the A+ too. I found that out yesterday. So we'll have stats on those. But this may have been something else. So method Q levels or gamma levels are just one of the important areas. I'm sure I missed something here that I could have taken this trade off of. Yeah, so there you go. So this is another mistake. I should have put on. I should have got out of some more, because this is a market profile composite, and that's an important area. That's what's listed in the Trading the Zone document. That bounced off of that, I could have put on this 1 ATR reversion. This is the back in black. Take 1, 2, or 3 backdoor reversion entries after the market touches an important area and begins to move back through the given ATR. So this important area was this guy. The bottom of this market profile composite was right around 51-ish, right? Was it 51? Hold on. It looked like it tagged it. Let's see here. Maybe I'm hoping it wasn't, because then I'm not mad I missed this trade, because I'm already mad. Let's see. Yeah, it's this guy here. It touched it exactly. Yeah, 45. So I should have taken this reversion. It tagged that market profile composite right about there. I should have taken this backdoor reversion 1. You're out of the zone. It's a great scalp trade. It's a great trade. Again, this is why, you know, I just introduced this one to the firm yesterday, so they're going to get this automated too. But I missed this trade. So I'm still long. I did get out of some at this GEX level, some of the barks and licks, or not the lick, I got out of the bark. But this is why, guys, I said I should have got out of my lick, or at least partial, because it tagged this. I mean, it's still probably going to come back and tag all of this. But the point is, I don't like watching this. I could have got out of some here. It was close enough. Tag that one. It was close enough to that one. Get out of the lick, or get out of half is what I should have got out of. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. So I'm still in it. But now here's your retest. If it comes back, I can put on brand new bark, brand new lick. And there's more lick up here, so I will put on those. It's just a new It's a new trade off of this event. I have it off of this event. Now I'll put it off of this event. So you can see on trending days, I say this all the time, where you can have multiple positions on. Bark and lick. Trail my stop. Bark and lick. Get a new event. Bark and lick. So on a trending day, you can have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions on, and you're just trailing it to the last event. That's how you have a month making, year making day. All right, so this comes back. I'll put these on too. 946. You can see it down here in the bottom left. The price. Actually, I have it on here too. So the long aggressive price is 946.50. That's this yellow line. All that is an ATR plus 15%. We're trying to avoid the algo snapback at the reversion at the 1 ATR, which is right there. 946.50, and I can put on 5 micros based on my $500 risk. So I will add to the bark and lick here if it comes back. And I'll go over this. Trump's talking right now too.
Order filled.
Oh, what did I do here? Did this come back on me? What did I just fill on here? What was that? I should have had 2 on. I don't know why I got out of 1 there. This didn't come anywhere near my stop. But what do you have here? ATR retest confirm. I could put on barks and licks here too. And you can see this liquidity up here. You know that's getting filled. So I'll put, remember I was long red rum, and I had red rum and sexy gexy longs on. Now if this comes back, I'm going to put on barks and licks too. 44, 535, I could put on 12. There's a position right there. So I'll put on barks and licks in here too. So you guys see how structured this is, right? It's like this is, I was short thesis. These are long events. I'm going long. I'll go guys in the direction. There's no question. Here's your entry. Here's your exit. Here's your position sizing. And then you just put on the trade. I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't care what I feel. I put on the damn trade. All right, new event in NQ. Now I can trail my stops. Got Russell now. So I got some activity finally. 36. All right, so those are working. I already had red rum on. I got out of a couple with those GEX. So this is exactly why I get out. So remember, I got out of some of those at the GEX. Look what it did at the GEX. It bounced off the GEX. That's why I look at these now. All right. Trump's talking, so this is probably why we're getting events now. But oh, you know what I missed here, by the way? A plus reversion. That's an F on my part. Was this an A plus? Right, because your stop was close. Right. Hopefully you guys took that. That moved right back to the zone. ATR is really small there. Something's going on. So this market's reacting to Trump talking. Huge. Yeah. Crude. Here you go, guys. Talk about big money. Is this big money? I'd be careful in crude right now, by the way. If you're short, good job, but look at this. This happened yesterday too. We had 8 times normal volume, and it's still coming in. That's big money. Be careful. Be careful doing any reversion trades, anything like that when you see that kind of. So I'm not even mad I missed that reversion because I don't want to mess with that when the big money. You don't want to be messing with algo reversion trades when big money is unloading. All right, so what happened here? All right, so new event here. Did I put these barks and licks on? Hold on here. 48 quarter. I can't remember what I did here. I was going to add to this, right? No, I did not put these on. Stuff's flying around now because he's talking. Right? So you may not want to even trade when he's talking. You got to make that decision too. That entry is supposed to be at 48 quarter. I will add to the bark and lick here. I was talking about this, but I never got him in. I would not be messing around with, like I just said, don't be taking reversion trades in CL. Unless you want to get your head ripped off. 48 quarter. All right, those barks are, so what just happened here? Market swiped down, never stopped me out. Remember, I trailed my stop to this stuff. I never got stopped out. New event. My stop's still in the same spot. I trailed my stop to the most recent event, but this, I'm not going to move my stop down. It's here. Hold on now. Someone's texting me. Let me guess, you guys can't hear me. Remember my trade room, grumpy factories. Then I will ask OPEC to lower oil prices. So he's talking, someone's unloading, right? So be careful. Anyway, I never got stopped out of this barking lick. I will put on new barking licks off of this guy. I wouldn't do it off of that too because it's the same area. But if that tag's here, I'm already long barking lick and I'll put on more. I do want to watch this liquidity for my first bark and lick off of this guy. If it can't get through here, I'm going to get out of that liquidity, but then I'll have another one on, so it's fine. I'm basically just lighten it up a little bit. And you see here too, guys, so now this is what I'm talking about. Now, so this trading firm is trading, and I guarantee you it's not trading correctly because it's not supposed to be trading with high relative volume, either are you guys. See that? That's because Trump is chirping. So it could get a little crazy here now. This is what I mean about putting on trades with this guy anybody talking, right? Because it's all bets are off. He says one thing bearish, this market's going to crash. I don't like that uncertainty. Sometimes you can't avoid it, right? Especially when these Fed idiots are talking all the time. You just got to take your medicine because they talk all the time. But, Trump's a different story. He doesn't talk that often. I mean, he talks a lot, obviously. His press conferences a lot and will continue to do so. But you may not want to trade when he's talking because you're at the whim of him. You know, if he says something bearish, adios. What I can do now though, here's a new event. Now I'm going to trail my stop to this 0250 for the remaining bark and lick I have on, and I'll still put those original ones on. I mean the second ones on, but I'm trailing to 0250. And nothing's going to surprise me here, right? If it rips off the page, I mean, I'd like it, but I don't know what's going to happen with him talking. I don't know what's going to happen anyway. I just got to hope he doesn't say something contrary to my position. That's what I'm trying to explain. If you don't want to trade in this situation, it's not a bad thing. There's plenty of trades to be had when he's not talking, right? Somebody's buying it, and this could, you know, but we have potential new trades here too. If this stuff breaks, now what do we have on the short side? If this, I'll stop out of my shorts. Let me make sure I got this stuff working correctly in YM. I already trailed my stop in NASDAQ. YM's just doing nothing. I still don't know why I got stopped out of that other. I should have two of these on, but see how I had two? I don't know what happened there. But it is what it is. And I still have that. Did I put on Bark and Lick here too? Hold on. Sure did. So I'm long Bark and Lick. Trump's still talking. So when ATR retest confirm, again, I put these things on with him talking, so I get what's coming to me if I lose. 451 is my stop for Bark and Lick. I already had red rum on, right? All right, those stops are in for YM. I'm glad I looked because I forgot to put those in. I'm still long. This is liquidity here. It's not a huge, obviously I got in here. So I got to judge here what I'm going to do. Hopefully I can just blow right through. This is where I'm supposed to have tick strike on too, because you can really judge with tick strike. Let's look at that puppy rolling. Because if it's going crazy, then I can hold on here. You already see they're buying through here. Here we go. Now I get to be annoyed. So it's kind of mixed here, right? You got the Fang stocks kind of selling. Apple was just right there. Let's see if this can get through. If not, I can get out of my lick. Especially with him talking, I'm okay getting out of my lick if it can't push through here right now, right? Because you know, if it pushes through, fine. If it doesn't, you know, it doesn't. Let me get rid of these. And I'll get out of some of my bark too, because this is one of my areas that if it struggles to get through, I get out. I got 12 of those on. I'll get out of 4 of them. Come on, baby, push through there. See that? See, you're seeing this on here, and I guarantee if I bring up the volume, pressure, and balance, I don't have that on here. Market pulse, because I'll bring it up here in a second. I still want to judge when I get out of some of these. Come on. Pretty big bubbles. What else do we got here? So that's the other thing. This is where I make the mistakes in the webinars. You got to know where you're at. Even when you put the trade on, no, okay, we're at, we already talked about this. So there's really nothing here except for GEX levels and let's see, we're at a GEX level. No. I'm giving this a second, but if it starts to fail back out of here, I'm getting out of a quarter of my bark and all of my lick. Come on. You can do it. Keep going. Keep going. All right, let's get Market Pulse up running here too. So Market Pulse is like tick strike on steroids. Again, Bookmap built Market Pulse for me because I asked for them for something like this where you can see history, right? So you can see they're still buying YM, so I can use that for tick strike. It let me know the big buyers are still coming in here. The aggressive buyers. All this is gauging the size of the orders coming through and the speed. That tells you it goes from 1 to 15. I got mine. It won't start lighting up till 11 or more. So you can see this is almost max buying right here. It also tells you something. If you get max buying, the market's spinning in place like it is right here. Well, I want to get this Market Pulse up here. Hold on. I'm going to get out of a quarter of these right now. Quarter of my bark. I'm just getting out of lick. I gave it a chance. Especially with them talking, I'm fine with it. It's a decent trade. So Market Pulse, come over here. Hit create. Volume, pressure, and balance is the one I use to help me judge important areas, and you can actually add to trades and subtract based on this too. I move it to an hour. Hit play. It'll load up. We can load historical data too. Let's move it back just so we can take a look at it. All right, well, you're welcome if you're still long there and you get out of any, because I got out of some, so that means the thing's going to rip off the page, which is fine because I'm still long, but I got out of some. NASDAQ's just sitting around here, so let's see what we might do here. I'm not even looking at CL right now, guys. Like, here, I will take a quick look at it, but it's moving too quick. There's too much relative volume. Look at this. Yeah, have fun with that. Yeah, that gives me a headache. So sometimes it's like that. It's just it's the function of the market. It's big money's playing. That was yeah. Look at this relative volume coming through here. And this is how you know big money's playing, guys. See that? And this is where you get these extended moves. What is going on at the trading firm? Why is it trading with this relative volume coming through here? Someone's going to get a verbal lashing there today. So you saw 10 times volume there, almost 8 times there, 4 times still coming in. Do not be. You can take position trades. I wouldn't take reversions. All right, so what am I doing here? I could possibly combine these two zones. Let's see here. 571 and another. Wow, so you got almost 1,000 buy ice here. Very likely the same house, but I mean the market did move significantly out of here, so I'm just going to leave these by themselves, and they were, you know, a good 4 minutes apart, so I'm not going to combine these two. So this one is already proven to be bullish, right? The ATR, here's your retest, surprise, surprise. I wouldn't have taken these reversions though again with that heavy relative volume. So I can, if this comes back, I can't put on Barks and Licks off of that. So I had him working off of this guy. I'm going to move him down to this guy. So that entry is 943.25, and this is probably pretty accurate. I could put on 5. So I'm just going to move my Bark and Lick that I had working to 943.25. There's a way I can add to it too. We'll go over that here in a second. All right, 943.25. As long as this guy doesn't prove to be bearish, I can still put that on. And then I can put that on too. And I still have Barks and Licks on from this guy down here. Right? God, I cannot wait to look and see what this trading firm is doing. All right, let's see you guys got any questions here. By the way, you're welcome to get out. I got out of some of those. I got out of all my lick. I did the best judgment I could, right? It got quiet. I mean, tick strike was going crazy, but it was spinning. Started to come back. I probably should have waited for it to get back below this liquidity. That was kind of weak on my part. But I still got some on. That's fine. I still got a sexy Gexy on here, too. So, okay, so see, he's talking. Every time he says something, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you're just at the whim of him talking. So all I have on is the original Bark and Lick, and I'm fine. If this pops down here, I'm out. Again, you got to make the decision if you want to trade while he's talking. All right, let's just take a breath here. What is a GEX level? Treely, have you been on the webinar? It's fine if you got on late, but this is all I'm talking about. GEX levels are these options dealers levels where they're hedging their options. Very important. I use both spot gamma, and we've been showing the hero all day, the real-time options flow, right? See what that's doing, by the way. Trump's still talking. Mag 7 hero flow, and then you have these levels that are pretty much pre-market levels, but they're this is what he's showing, guys. I actually had to show the trading firm guy this yesterday too, which was very surprising. He didn't know this. A little scary actually, but it's okay. If you go over here to the Mentor Q, I'm doing a webinar with them tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I'll put the let me put that in right now. Hold on. Then I'll show you guys. Crude's getting smushed. Again, I didn't put any trades on there. There we go. So this is the link for tomorrow. So if you want to learn all about the GEX levels, this is the owner. And I'm going to show you my new trades. This is being put in the room. 9 a.m. Central tomorrow. That's that. So what I was going to show you here is, so these GEX levels, this is all this is, right? So watch GEX, net GEX. So So say I want to see the NASDAQ. These are the levels on the chart. Well, let's look at YM because we just got out of some of the at the GEX level, right? YM, watch. Oh, you can't do YM. They don't have GEX. It's DIA. So you see this? This is what we're looking at here. So this one, 440, was the biggest level, and they're transposing these levels onto the YM chart, right? But I don't know where the 440 was because these are the blind spots. It's probably down here. But regardless, let's just do a different one because that one's confusing because it's they don't have options on YM. They just have them on DA, which are still important, right? Let's do this again. Let's do it on NASDAQ. GEX, NECX, NQ1. Right, so these GEX levels are areas where dealers are loaded up with options where they have to hedge. So they act as resistance, support, and areas that they have to hedge as it comes into them, right? So that's what the GEX, sexy GEXy is. So we already took one earlier in YM when it came down into this GEX level, and we got a volume event, and it's been a nice winner. This is the beginning of the webinar. So again, came back down there. We got the sell stops. I think it was sell stops. Oh, what did I just fill on? All right, I'm long. All right, this is going to get interesting. Because this is what I'm saying. I'm talking about. I'm electing to trade with him talking. I gotta take my medicine if these don't work out. And I got double size on Bark and Lick. I just wish he would stop talking so these markets could behave. So I added 0.1 quarter is the stop now for everything. For my ad and my original. I hate hoping something happens. I mean, you're always hoping trading, but I hate hoping he doesn't say something contrary to the position. That's why you probably don't want to be trading when he's talking. But we're on a live trading webinar, and usually the default's up anyway, right? What I am going to watch here is this liquidity level. I'm going to get out of some of these first liquidity. I'm going to get out of all these first liquidity trades I put on off of this guy down here if it can't push through here. I just filled out something else too. Hold on here. So there's, remember, Bark and Lick here. Here's the Lick. That's a great trade. My entry was here. It's a very good trade. Let's see what happens here. If I can't get through, I'm getting out of some of this Lick. And I'll get out of some of the Bark because this is an important area that I get out of some. I know I just put some on, but I added to it, but that's a different trade. I mean, it's still a Lick trade, but I'm going for the Lick up here. All right, so what did I put on here? What was this again? Why do I have 4 on here? What did I do? I forgot what I even did on this one. This is supposed to be the sexy GEXy trade. All right, well, I think I filled on something I had working earlier, so this was just basically blind luck. I'm gonna get out. I'll keep 2 of the. Why did I put? I can't remember why I put this on, guys. Was this the sexy GEXy down here? I cannot remember. All right, whatever. But I am long Bark and Lick on other accounts too. So hold on. Let's see what we got brewing over there. Yeah, I can't remember what I did earlier here, but I took losses in NQ. I can't remember what the hell these were, actually. These are what I have on now, right? So I have the YM, this is the red rum, and then I have on the other accounts, the Bookmap and the Tradeovate, I have the sexy GEXy, but that's the red rum. This is Bark Lick. This is Bark and Lick too, but I should have 2. Why don't I have Lick on YM? Oh, because I got out at that Lick. Okay, that makes sense. I don't remember what these even losses were. So that's what I do all this stuff on these webinars. It's like 4 years ago. All right, so I still have the Lick on here, my original Lick. So let's see if this can blow through or I don't have to worry about it. And you see they're buying this puppy. Let's bring on Market Pulse, see what's going on there. This helps me judge at these areas, right? There's really no heavy buying here, Market Pulse wise. Push through, please. So I don't have to worry about it. Or I could just get out for those of you long, and then it'll definitely rip up. better at 200%. What the volume? Why is it too loud? Guys, I don't know. All right, see how it's struggling here? So I'm going to get out of some of these original licks. Again, you're welcome, because now it's going to literally rip off the page. I'm going to get out of some of my bark, because this is an important area in the trading the zone doc. It's struggled to get through resting liquidity. It's struggling right now. I can't sit here and stare at it. If I'm trading on my own, then I got to pop back between markets and stuff right now. So I got out of some. That's fine. If this rips up, you got liquidity up here. There's liquidity all over the place here. This was the heaviest thing. See how it's struggling here? So that's why I got it. So I'm fine with that. Here, let me just get out of these because I don't even know why I have these damn things on. All right.
Order filled.
I'll show you that trade copier here in a second too. Actually, we're at the time, guys. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when Trump's talking. All right, so still have the bark and lick on here. I still have the, I got out of the lick, but I still have bark on, still have some of the red rum on, still have some of the sexy Gexy on. YM. Remember, I'm not getting out of any of these YMs until it hits red lug or a posting volume event. We already talked about that. So these have been all really good trades. And once again, you're staring at the ES, you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs during all this. How's that? How'd that feel? That's why you guys want to be looking at other markets. I mean, you could be trading it, fine, but you're not getting volume events in there, so market usually sucks as it is. All right, we'll show the trade copier next week. I just got it set up. So it's called, you can see here too. It's called Trade Syncer. So I just did this last night and it works. I got Bookmap set up to the Trade of 8s. I didn't put any of these on the live accounts, but I got it on that account. So I got that going for me, which is nice. All right, so I still got NQ, bark and lick on. I got some of the lick here. I told you the minute I got out, it would keep rolling. One of the other areas I'm watching here to piece out, definitely Gex 1. There's 2 gamma levels here. And say this thing makes it all the way up here without another event, starts coming back, I'll put it in the back in black to that guy. That's a potential trade. Other than that, for the position trades I have on, the bark and lick. This is an important area right here. So if it starts to fail, I can get out even more. This is market profile composite. Right? Remember, I already missed that back in black off of that dude. These are these 2 guys here. Right? You got the bottom of this one. Yeah, it's kind of through it though, so I don't really have to get out there. And you got this prior one. So hopefully this can hold right here and move higher. So the rule of thumb too for thesis, when a market accepts in these market profile composites, you expect the other side. If it doesn't, it's telling you something too. So heads up for that. As far as coming up with a thesis, again, I guess. I don't guess with my volume events. I trade my system, right? And then other than that, I got a fly, but this is, again, I put this in the room. This is everything that I'm using, guys. Zone drawing tool. You're going to save yourself years off of your life. And then here's the Bookmap, YouTube. Here's the course to understand the volume events, the amount of volume events I'm looking at, settings, everything about the volume events and the core of my trading. You get it on Bookmap or my website. Here's the spreadsheet if you want to just plug it in. You get this for free as a member of my trade room. Just in case the drawing tool is not working or something, you got access to that. Or if you don't have the drawing tool. And then the rest of the stuff, website, email, Twitter. Here's my trade room. Do this twice a day, every day. Here's what I use and discounts to everything. Bookmap, marked in MBO bundle. You have to have this if you want to trade the iceberg events. Apex Trader, we didn't get into these today, but use Pulcini 50 for any sale they have going on. Great way to trade, practice, get better, and if you do well, then you're funded anyway, right? So don't be risking your own money until you know what you're doing. Mentor Q levels, we got the webinar with them tomorrow. Here's all the discounts to the monthly and yearly. Spot Gamma, use Scott, you can get that for 2 weeks for free. You can check it out, it's incredible as well. Tick Strike, that's this puppy. It's really fun when it's going in your favor, listening to it. It's not so fun when it's going against you. Listening to it and watching it. Traders seek to keep track of your trades. Ludwig level, the second most powerful thing I've ever seen in trading. And here's the reviews. You want to check those out. So there you go. Good day, right? And hopefully you guys are learning. And all I did, remember, I was thinking something short was going to happen, and I ended up long because the real-time volume told me to be long. YM and NQ. All right, that's it. I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. hop on that Month or Q webinar. It'll be good. If not, I'll see you next Thursday.